So this Eternal Evolution video is going to be a video based on the top heroes to invest in the first 60 days. So I just want to jump back in and have a look at my 30-day login. So I'm about to finish my second one. I think I'm up to, I'm finishing day 56 at the moment, going on to day 57. So yeah, first 60 days in, this is who I've invested in. This is where I'm at when it comes to the progress in the game. So just to sort of reiterate as well, like my account's totally free to play, and based on the heroes that I've invested in, you can see I'm ranked third in the story, which means I'm getting more resources than everyone else on the server apart from Mr. Caesar and Kiko. And yeah, both whales. Scotty's spent a bit. I don't think he's a full whale, but I think he spent a bit. And yeah, over 3 chapters ahead of him. So that's pretty cool. So going into Soul Mine, I'm just behind Scotty on this one. So we're on the same level. He's way ahead of me now. That's quite a lot too, 3 stages. So he's obviously got some of the heroes that just progress a little bit further, a bit better. And then going down to the Elite chapter. There it is. Oh, sorry, it's already here. Elite campaign. So yeah, coming in 4th here now. So the reason I fall behind on the Elite campaign is that being free to play, I can't spread my resources amongst too many heroes. I've got to focus on a few. And when we go into the top 5, you'll understand how that works. So the way I'm going to do this is the first 4 weeks of Eternal Evolution is on a rail system. So the banners that pop up and the events that pop up will be mostly the same. Depending on how quickly you progress, a few extra things will open up to you. But we're going to go off the 4-week rail system first of all. So in week 1, you'll get a free copy of Senway. And what I recommend is making sure you put Senway on your wish list. What that'll allow you to do is get more copies of Senway, and he's so powerful that you'll be using him. I'm not late game, but I'm coming up towards late game now for how far I've progressed. So Senway is going to be the first champ to start investing in. That will go hand in hand with Serena through your 30-day logins. You'll actually get a free copy of Serena in the first week, I think, or maybe by the end of the second week. So you want to make sure that you've got Serena on your wish list as well. The third champ to go into is going to be Taylor. You'll get a free copy of Taylor as long as you don't spend your Wasteland tokens. So you want to make sure you save them up because you'll get a 2,000, whatever the rewards are in that. It'll cost 2,000. You get a copy of Taylor out of there. So you want to make sure you've got him on the wish list. So those are your 3 elites that you'll be able to get in the first week. I'm not sure about Serena, but you really need Serena as soon as possible because she's your main healer until you get Mazrani. So that's going to bring us on to the next hero to invest in, and that's actually going to be Leo. So on the first week banner, you'll be able to get yourself a copy of Leo. You want to make sure you get 1 copy of Leo. We basically want to spend 60 tickets. If you get 2 copies of Leo, awesome. But you want to spend 60 tickets to go to Pity on Leo because you can invest gene hybrids into him over the next coming weeks. And the last hero that I want to go for is Daniel. So Daniel's still my MVP damage dealer. Whether the damage relies on a summoner or someone else, he is still the number 1 damager in my team. So yeah, you need to make sure you've got a copy of Daniel. He's so good in Twilight Lands, so good in campaign, which I always argue is the most important part. Campaign is the most important part to progress. Elite, every single part of the game, Daniel is amazing at. So what that also ties into is once you get 1 more summoner, which is normally Kalaza, you've got a 3-piece summoner team, so that ties in well with the Commander and Lighten. And once you get a copy of Durali, you've got a really strong summoner team too. But to recap really quickly, Senway's number 1, Serena's number 2, Taylor's number 3. Actually, I'm actually going to put Leo at number 1, sorry. So Leo's number 1, Senway, Serena, Taylor, and Daniel. And just to chuck a bonus one in there, in week 4, Mazrani will come up on a banner, and you need Mazrani. Mazrani's a better healer than Serena. and pairs really, really well with Daniel, Senway, Taylor, Leo, all of them. So it's actually going to be a top 6, not a top 5, sorry. Now, to deep dive into the skills of them, or not deep dive, just an overview of the skills. Senway will drop a summon, and you can choose where they go. And he's got a really, really quick lead time with his ult. He gets about a half an energy bar straight away in the battle. So you'll be able to drop his summon out pretty early on. That summon, you can do one or two things. Drop him towards the rear just to do damage. Or you can drop him in the front, so he'll do a ton of damage, but he'll also tank some of the hits if you need to delay the enemy attacking your frontline guys. Then going on to, actually, I should have started at Leo. The reason Leo is so important is if you watch my Leo or my campaign MVP, getting Leo level like in the first week will progress your campaign so far. He's really good. You want to get him to Immortal, and arguably you could actually get him to Immortal before Daniel, focus on the gene hybrids. But there is actually a special event on week 2 for Daniel as well. He will tank your front line until you either get a proper tank or until you get to about chapter 45 in the campaign, where there's basically it's so tough that you need to rely on someone else as well. So we've got Senway, Serena. Again, you don't get another good healer until week 4. So you need someone to carry through, basically keep Leo alive up until week 4. So that's going to be Serena, because you get, I think by the first month, you get 2 or 3 free copies of her. And having her on your wish list, she'll be Immortal by the end of the second week for sure. There's not really too much to deep dive into Serena. Just get as many copies of you can, get it to Immortal, and focus on health with her. Moving on to Taylor, like I said, you get a free copy of him, have him on your wish list. He's really, really good in Disa Caves, but he's also really usable on Sincero Marsh and definitely the Terradome too. Until you get to EX, then you can't use him. So, yeah, Taylor will progress your dungeon side of your camp, the dungeons on your account really fast. Moving on to Daniel, the only reason he's number 4 is because you don't get him in the first week. You get him in the second week. And that also pair up with a few events that will run simultaneously with his banner, where I think you'll get 3 or 4 free copies of him. And that mixed in with 1 gene hybrid and 1 pity copy of him, you can get him to Immortal, and his damage will go through the roof for your team, and he will carry you, and is still carrying me in the campaign at chapter 50. So yeah, Daniel's really good, and he would be number 1, but yeah, you don't get him to the second week, so you can focus on the other guys first. Yeah, and as mentioned, finally, I know it's number 6, but Mazrani, you don't get him until week 4. But again, he pairs up with some events that happen where I think you get 3 free copies of him. And like Daniel, you can get him to Immortal free of charge. So Daniel Mazrani, free of charge, get him to Immortal in week 2 and then week 3, and you'll have an awesome team there. So they're the 5 heroes I'm going to focus on. A next video I'm going to bring out, and the reason I'm doing this one now is 60 days in or 56 days in, I'm almost up to going to hyper evolutions. So I get to finally do my first lot of hyper evolutions. And I've got 1 hyper evolution for a triple S, which is going to be Daniel for a little bit of a giveaway. And for my other hyper evolutions, still making my mind up at the moment. So that does it. That is my top 5 to pick in the first 60 days. And that is a free to play account. If I was doing a little bit of pay to win, I wouldn't change too much, to be honest. Summoners, they basically push you down the path of summoners at the moment, which is really handy because they get you really far in the content. And what that pairs up with next is I've got a full summoner team now. So my main summoning team that I use is Daniel, Senway, Kalaza, and Durali with a healer. And when I say if I was paying some money, the next team I think is the most important to build is Assassins. So if you're paying in the game, I would be trying to get as many Assassins as I could with the coin that you're spending. So that's what I'm going to do next. And I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.